Hello and welcome. I'm Tuck.
And I'm Chelsea.
And we are excited to be demoing the Princess Bride adventure book game today.
Yeah. All right, so, what is it?
We'll open it up.
All right. Board game?
That's right. When I was your age, video games were called board games. And this is a very special board game.
Yeah, so a little bit more information about it. So it is for ages 10 and up. It can have 1 to 4 players. Mm-hmm. The playing time is about 15 minutes per chapter, and it is normally priced at $24.99, but it is actually right now on sale at Target for $20.99.
Yeah, some of the Black Friday, Cyber Monday stuff. Yeah. So definitely grab it because it is awesome.
Yeah. So in the Princess Bride adventure book game, players work together to control characters and tell the epic tale of the Princess Bride in 6 chapters. And so each chapter has different ways to be interrupted by either the grandson or by villains in the story.
Right, but players get one more chance after the first interruption to tell the story right.
Yes.
So again, it's played in 6 chapters, and so each of kind of our places are the main 6 chapters, and we're going to be able to play through hopefully a few of those today, and we'll kind of touch on some of the other ones as we go.
So we will start with chapter 1, As You Wish.
As You Wish. Awesome. And so as well as the beautiful game itself and the board here, we have all of our movers and our pieces for some of the characters as well. So in chapter 1, As You Wish, we will be using Wesley as well as Buttercup.
Yeah, and kind of show those off really quick. I just love them, all the detail. All right.
All right. So in this one, and up at the top as well as in the book, it kind of details some details about the chapter.
And I'll kind of show that off up close over here.
So you can see the story so far, and it gives a little bit of background rules. It gives the chapter rules that are kind of the details. So for this one, we have some chores, and during the storytelling phase, it tells you what you can do to get rid of some of those chores, and how the chapter could be interrupted as well.
Absolutely.
And then on the right-hand side, you have some of the challenges, and we need to complete these in order. And these are kind of like the main plot points of our stories as we go through. So the first one is As You Wish, and we're going to have to kind of get those chores taken care of. So, and we'll kind of move through those.
Yeah. Perfect.
Wonderful. All right. So we are going to start out our characters. Princess Buttercup will start in the farmhouse, and Wesley will start in the barn. Perfect. And we will need some of these chore tokens as well. And you can see we've got a lot of different tokens for the different chapters. But we'll go ahead
Let me show this
and start these off
our little
here.
chore token.
So we start with 3 on the board, and we have our extras down here on the corner. All right, and with that, we are pretty much set to get started on chapter 1. So we have a few different cards out here. We have our story cards, and we're going to get some of these for each player. We're going to start with 4.
Yeah, thank you.
And since this is a fully cooperative game, it is completely fine to show your cards to each other so that everyone knows kind of what you're working with, because we want to complete this as a team. Yeah. And along with that, we can also, the characters that are out, we can both move those. And so on a given turn, part of your move action, you can either move 1 character twice, or you can move 2 characters 1 space each. And so, yeah, Chelsea is showing our card of the things that we can do. You start with your movement. Like I said, you can move 1 or 2 different characters. And then you move into kind of the storytelling phase. And that's where we're trying to complete different tasks. So we can move extra by getting rid of some of our cards. We may try and complete a challenge if we're ready to. We can play some special cards once we get those available to us. And we can trade, which is really helpful since it's a cooperative game as well. All right.
Or possibly use a miracle.
Yeah, and we'll talk about that, which we actually need on the board as well.
Yes, perfect. Wonderful. I like those miracles. We got to make sure that they're out.
Yep, absolutely. All right. So at this point, let's go ahead and get started and kind of see what happens. So Chelsea, do you want to start us off?
Sure. So with our first challenge, we do have to have, there must be 2 or fewer chores that are on the counter map, and then Wesley and Buttercup have to be together. So probably want to work towards getting rid of some chores. So I think I'm going to go ahead and I will move 2 to get to the well here, and then I can just discard, right?
Yeah.
So I'm going to discard. I don't see that we need adventure right away, so I'll discard that one to get rid of that chore.
Yep. So as a special Chapter 1 rule, you can discard one of your cards in order to get rid of a chore. And one of the challenges here, the first challenge that we're trying to do, is we need to have 2 or fewer chore counters on the board. And so we're down to 2, which is great. But we also have to have Wesley and Buttercup in the same space so that they can meet and kind of talk about things.
Yeah. All right. So that will be the end of my turn, and I will draw 2 new cards.
All right. So at the end of the turn, depending on what chapter happens, you'll always draw 2 new cards, and then something happens. And that's where the plot table comes in. So on the plot, we have a deck here next to it, which has numbers 1 through 20 on there. And then the plot table tells us what happens when those are drawn. So for this one, a 1 through 15 means that we will get a chore counter out. And we'll put it, depending on what number comes out, we'll put it on the board there. And then a 16 through 20, we do the same thing, but we will move them together and then draw another one.
Yeah.
So let's go ahead and see what happens.
All right. So a number 8, and I love that all of these cards also have just quotes. So we have wait, just wait.
All right, so that chore token that we got off the board is coming back on at spot number 8.
Perfect.
All right, so now it's my turn. Let's see. So we're here at the well with Wesley, and Wesley is kind of the one right now that we're trying to move around to get those chores taken care of. And I know we really want to clear these out, so I think I'm going to use my 2 movement to go to our horse here, and I will discard a card to get rid of a chore. And then as well, now I finished my movement. I'm kind of down into my second phase, but one of the things that you can do as well is discard as many cards as you'd like to move spaces. And I know that Chelsea's got love. She also has a courage token, which are kind of what we need for those first couple.
Yeah.
So I think I'm really going to work hard to get rid of some of these tokens here. So I will discard a revenge and an adventure to move 2 spaces, and then discard a love to get rid of another token, so that maybe we can get close to completing that first challenge.
Very nice.
Okay, so that is kind of the end there. I'm going to draw 2 cards, and then we will need to draw another plot.
Yeah. So we have number 7 and the quote, "Keep your shirt on. Let me read."
All right, so we've got another one out, but again, to complete that challenge, we just have to have 2 or fewer. So we could possibly do this as long as Wesley and Buttercup are on the same space.
Yeah, so I'm going to work on moving that there. So I will go 1, and then all the way over here to 2. And then I will discard that love to complete the challenge as you wish.
Wonderful.
And so as a reward, we will be able to draw 1 card from the special deck.
Yeah, and the special deck is fantastic. We have it set aside here. Each one is really unique in what it is, but it gives us an access to something now, and then we can use it whenever we want to. So this is a nice MLT. And at any point, we can turn this in to draw 3 cards from the story deck and then discard 2 cards from your hand. So it gives us, maybe if we're looking for something specific, we can use a nice MLT to make that happen.
That sounds perfect. So we'll kind of keep that here. So it's a little bit close. So
Wonderful.
Now our next challenge will be True Love.
True Love. So we completed As You Wish, and that day she was amazed to discover that when he was saying As You Wish, what he really meant was, I love you.
Yes.
All right, so our next challenge here, True Love, requires
I guess it's more True Love, right?
Not yet, not yet.
I feel like it counts for them.
Definitely. So this one requires that Wesley and Buttercup both be in the barn, And then we will need to discard 2 love and a courage
Yep.
cards in order to
Which I have
complete
some
that.
courage.
I have a love, but we don't
Yeah.
have 2 love between us yet.
Yeah.
So let's see. Now, you completed
Yes,
this,
I still need to draw 2.
but we still need to finish. Yeah.
Yep. I have a lot of courage cards. And just kind of to show off, because I think the artwork is just so beautiful. So here is that courage card.
Absolutely.
I have a lot of courages, so I don't really have a...
Yeah, and
Too
we
many to show
haven't
off
run
here.
into it, but if you have more than 6 cards in your hand at the
Yeah.
end of your round, you'll have to discard down to 6. So you do kind of want to use those if possible for extra movement or something like that.
So, and there's intrigue. And then let me show off your revenge and love here, because they're just beautiful. So our love and revenge. There's
Awesome artwork.
other cards too, but those are the ones we currently have. All right, so a number 2. Doesn't sound too bad. I'll try and stay awake.
All right, so this will go out. Now, we've already completed the challenge that deals with those chores, but we do have that the chapter will be interrupted if there are no more chore counters when
Yep.
you need to put one out. So even though we're done with the first challenge that really deals with that, we do kind of have to keep watch on them, otherwise we might get interrupted by
Yep.
the grandson who's a little bored with the story. All right, so let's see. I can take 2 movements, or I can move someone twice. There's a few things. I know we need to get them to the barn, but we also have a miracle token down
Yeah.
here, which is pretty great. We can use that for a few different things. And we have a few chores out as well. And since we don't have the right cards yet, I think it would be wise to maybe try and get something taken care of.
Yeah.
So
If you want to get the miracle, I mean, I have a ton of cards that I can move around and kind of hit some chores. Yeah.
I think that's a good idea then. So I'll use Wesley. No, let's use Buttercup to go get that.
Okay.
Since Wesley maybe stays a little bit more centrally located here, and as long as you move through or land on a miracle token, you get to keep that. And this comes in handy because we can use it to get some extra cards here, or we can use it to get one special card, and these special cards are fantastic.
I really like the special cards. I almost feel like that's what we should use it for.
You think so?
Honestly. Yeah.
Let's give it a go.
I think they're great, and they get shuffled back in. So
Yes, and so one of the really cool things, as we're discarding cards up here, when we run out of these cards, we will reshuffle and deal them back out. But any of the special cards that we have used get discarded here as well, which means that they will come back around.
yes. And I feel like it's very helpful to kind of have those special cards in
Rotation, absolutely. So we went ahead and used our miracle token for a special card, and we got a wild card.
Yeah.
It can be used as any type of story card,
Yep.
which is pretty powerful.
Yeah, that might actually help us because I have a ton of courage. You have one love, and then having that wild card, it could be the other love to complete our challenge of true love.
Yeah, absolutely. So
Possibly.
I still have an opportunity. Would you like to do a trade, and maybe with this wild card, I can take care of that in a turn or two?
Sure.
Okay.
Yeah.
So I will trade a revenge
And I'll give you a courage.
for a courage. Wonderful. All right.
All right.
Cool. Then that'll be the end of mine. So I'll draw 2 cards here. I got 2 adventures, which we
Okay.
haven't shown off yet.
Yes. And that'll be great because for our last challenge, Seek Fortune, we do need 2 adventures.
Yep.
So you are already kind of stocking up for
Yeah.
what we need for those challenges.
That'll be perfect.
I do. I really love all of the artwork. It's so pretty.
All right. So I drew, and then we'll need a plot card.
Yes. All right. So number 6.
And that comes
And
out.
when I was your age, television was called books. Kind of sounds familiar from your opening, maybe.
Something like that. Wonderful. All right.
right.
It's your turn.
Okay. So I am definitely going to work on clearing some of these chores here as Wesley. So I will go 1. I think I'll go 2.
2.
Yeah. And I will turn in the intrigue there to get rid of that. I kind of hit Princess Buttercup. I'm so sorry. And then I will turn in a card in order to go 1 more. And turn in another. Since I have so many cards right now to get rid of this chore. And I'm kind of thinking,
Sure.
might as well turn in a courage. I'll go up here, turn in another courage,
Yeah.
and get down.
That's
that.
awesome. I think that gave us some good breathing
Yeah.
room, getting rid of 3 of those chores. Wonderful.
Technically I don't need it. I could move him closer towards the barn. What do you think?
Maybe Buttercup. She's pretty far away.
All right, so I will turn in my last courage card there to move her a bit closer towards the barn.
Cool.
And that will be the end of my turn. Oh, there's that love if you want to trade me something.
Oh, yeah.
And intrigue.
Wonderful. Okay. And I may just do that. So,
Yeah.
well,
Hold
let's
on
see
really
now.
quick. Let's do... All right. So, a book. Has it got any sports in it?
Good question. All right, that goes up at the one.
I mean, it has
up at the
fencing and
farmhouse.
fighting.
Definitely. I would consider those sports.
Revenge, giants, monsters, right? I think it works.
I think so too.
All
All
right.
right. So we need to move here. I don't really have enough cards to where I can just kind of get
We
everyone
could do
there.
draw 3 cards.
I draw 3, but then we discard 2.
2 from
so
your hand,
it's useful for getting something that we
Yeah.
need maybe specifically. Let's see. I think I'll move each character once. So I'm going to move Wesley here,
Yeah.
and that way he's with a chore in case we need to, and I'll move Buttercup as well. We're trying to get them both to the farm so that they can figure out that they have true love.
Yes, at the barn, of course.
At the barn, of course. And I kind of want to keep my cards because I'm close to getting the true love,
Yep.
and I'm close to having kind of what we need as well for our third challenge. So I think I'm going to leave it at that.
Okay.
So I'll get 2 more cards. That'll put me up at 6. So I'll definitely want to use some cards next
Or
turn.
trade with me, too, to get love.
And we'll have another plot come out.
All right. So 10. Thank you very much. Very nice of you.
All right.
I love all the quotes just everywhere.
On 10. There we go.
All right. Well,
One thing I hadn't considered, so the plot of a 16 to 20, we haven't had one of those
Yeah.
come up. You move Buttercup to Wesley's space, and then you get another card, which will
Yep.
probably bring that out. But I think maybe if we can get Wesley into the barn,
yeah.
we might have her follow kind
Yeah.
of without us moving her too much.
all right. So I will do 2 for Wesley, and then I will actually turn in this intrigue since we don't need it for our challenges coming up
Yeah.
to get him to the barn. So he is fully there. And I'm going to keep this. Well, actually, would you like to trade?
I would
Give
love
me
to
a
trade.
revenge.
Yeah.
So you can have that love. And then I will keep the revenge, and I will end my turn there and draw 2.
And that way I
Get
can
another-
move Buttercup as well if I need to.
Yes.
Yeah.
Get another love and a revenge there. All right. So a number 4.
4.
So we are not getting lucky with the 16 or 20 here.
No. I was hoping it would work in our favor.
Yeah.
But, okay, I think
All
we've
right.
got what we need though. So I will do my movement to move Buttercup 2 spaces.
Very nice.
So they are both in the barn. I'm looking at True Love, so it requires Wesley and Buttercup to be in the barn, as well as the chapters ahead of it, or the challenges, because you can't complete them out of order.
Yes.
You've got to go. All right,
Just
so
like if you're reading a book, right? You got
Exactly.
to go in order of the chapters.
you can't flip ahead. That's craziness. Okay, so
No spoilers.
I will turn in 2 loves and a courage, which
Very nice.
completes True Love. And as a reward, I will draw 1 card from the special deck. So this is wonderful.
Yes.
Sir, we're in a terrible rush. So we can move 1 character up to 3 spaces,
Oh,
which
that's
is
very
really
nice.
powerful.
Yeah.
And
You
that
rush
may
a
come in
miracle,
handle.
man, you get rotten miracles.
All right, we've got a few out here
know,
that
we
that
need
we
to
can
start
use
using
pretty
them.
soon.
So our last challenge for this chapter will be Seek Fortune, and it will require Buttercup must be at the barn,
Yep.
which she currently is, and then Wesley will need to be to Fortune, which is all the way down here. And then we obviously must have completed all other challenges, and then we will need 2 adventures, which you have, and a courage, which we don't have, but we do still have that wild card.
Yeah, absolutely.
So we might be able to do that if we get him moving. And it's my turn, yeah?
And it's your turn, yep.
Did you finish with drawing cards and plot?
Let's see. So no,
No, yes.
let's see. We finished True Love. And even more amazing was the day she realized she truly loved him back.
Yes.
All right, so we are on to Seek Fortune. I've already done some movement. So now, I think it would be a good idea maybe to be in a terrible rush. So we're going to turn in one of our specials. So again, this gets discarded up here.
Yeah.
And I can move one character 3 spaces. So I'm going to get Wesley to kind of move towards to Fortune there.
Very nice.
And you know what?
Do you want to trade with me?
No. Oh, can I? No, we don't.
Just trade. You could trade a single
Okay.
card with me, and then I could trade with you.
Even better. I'm going to turn in a revenge to move 1 space. And then I will use my 2 adventures and a wild card to complete this chapter. So 2 adventures and a courage. I'll use our wild card as a courage. And that right there, without maybe having her
Move
go
to
meet
him, yes.
we will complete the chapter. So,
All right.
hear this now. I will always come for you. And that completes chapter 1.
Yeah.
So a few things happen between chapters. Any discard or any cards that you had get discarded. So there's really no use in hoarding those. But you do get to keep your special cards.
So we'll keep a nice MLT.
A nice MLT. And then all of those kind of extra pieces get moved
Yeah, those
off
chore
the space.
counters will go away.
And then our characters will move as well because they are going to kind of get reset when we change chapters. So we are good to move on to chapter 2, Escape by Sea.
Yeah.
Yeah, so in this we have a few new characters, we have a few new goals, and when we complete, we also get a chapter completion counter. And these are really cool. It's kind of like a wax seal as well.
Very lovely. I like it.
All right, and so this we will kind of keep to the side. This is great as well because at any point you can pause this. There are 6 chapters to go through, but you need to kind of finish up each chapter in order to fully complete the game. But it's perfect because you can go through a couple chapters, and if you need to pause, you can just kind of keep track of this. Keep your deck the way it is for any special cards that you've got, and come back another day and finish it up.
Yeah, and then remember, the playing time, it's roughly about 15 minutes per chapter that you're kind of looking at. So.
Absolutely. All right. So now we have a few different characters and a few different tokens as well.
Yeah.
So we have our ship and our mystery ship out here.
Yeah.
We've got Buttercup in this chapter.
Yeah, and we'll
And a
bring
few
out
new
some
characters
more.
as well.
They're kind of, well, you know, Vizzini is green, and he is floating in our green screen there, so.
Yeah, so a little bit difficult
kind
to
of
see
show
there,
him
but
off there. And he goes a little shadowed as well. And then we also have Fezzik.
Wonderful. All right.
And they will start at our start. All right.
Wonderful. Okay. And then this guy, Wesley, is actually not on the board because we have not seen him yet. He's the mystery man, but we don't know that yet. All right, so
Don't spoil it.
a few things change here. So now we have our map tracker that will get us towards the Cliffs of Insanity, and there's some rules about that.
Yeah.
We've got a few rules about where people are and what can happen as far as being able to move forwards. So for example, if Vizzini is on the prow up here, we can discard 3 cards to go forwards a space. But they also have different colors that match up with those different cards. And if either Fezzik or Inigo are with Vizzini, wherever he is, you can discard the correct card to move forwards as well.
Yep, absolutely.
And the plot table has changed now. There's a few different options, and those now mention a lot of times that we're going to have the mystery man move forwards, and we get interrupted if the mystery man catches. So we really want to stay ahead of that as much as possible.
Yeah, and so you'll notice like we don't have the chore counters now. We have the mystery ship and then our ship.
Wonderful. Okay. All right. Then I think we're pretty much set. So we're going to start off again with 4 cards here.
Thank you. Let's see. So for our first challenge, it'll be no more rhymes now. I mean it. And of course, I love that I already saw in the chat, anybody want a peanut, right? I feel like it just works. And so for that, we will need intrigue and love.
Yeah, absolutely. And again, so actually these challenges you can complete in any order, except you have to check those requires. So for whoever it is, he's too late, requires that you've completed the other challenges. And so we've got No More Rhymes and I Mean It, and we've got the Shrieking Eels. And so there's a few different things. We need Inigo and Fezzik to be in the same space, and Vizzini on the prow.
Yep.
So if we can make that happen. And we've got the Shrieking Eels. So Buttercup will need to be in the water all the way out here.
Yep.
And Fezzik will be at the railing. So there's a few different plot points to happen here. And along with all of that, we're trying to get our ship as ahead as possible.
Yes.
All right, so let's go ahead and get started. I think I finished that up, so I'll let you start
so
there.
does me. Well, I do definitely like to keep that mystery ship kind of a distance away. And so I think I'm going to go ahead. You don't have love, though.
I don't.
So I feel bad to almost discard it.
Do what you got to do. We will get some cards
Yeah,
as
that's
we need.
very true.
We also
So-
have a nice MLT if we kind of need to move around.
So I'm
some
going to
cards a
go
little bit.
1, 2 right there. And
So
I
that'll
will.
actually get you here.
Oh, you're right.
Yeah.
Yep, 1, 2.
Mm-hmm.
Well, it's not going to work as well as I wanted it to.
Mm.
But I'm still going to do it. I'm going to turn in 2 cards. I'm going to turn in Revenge and Love here to move 2 more. And actually,
Two more
I'll move
spaces.
Vizzini this
Okay.
time. So they're kind of together. And then I have Adventure. I have 2 adventures. And I will turn in, since this says any, I'll go ahead and turn in one of that for there, and then it will actually need an adventure. And I will turn in there
Gotcha.
for adventure.
Wonderful.
Yeah, kind of move it a little bit further, because some of these are really scary, and the mystery ship moves 2 spaces
Yep.
along.
Yep.
All right, and I will end there and draw 2 more.
Okay. So drawing 2, and then we actually need
Yes.
to kind of
Yeah.
get this reset as well.
Sorry, I kept it all the way over here
That's all right.
on my side.
I'm hoping for some good, nice, not too terrible cards.
We shall see.
All right, what do we get?
All right, so we have a 10 here, and so 10, it is move Vizzini to the space on the board with the same number as what was revealed
Okay.
on the card, so we'll move him to 10, and then move the mystery ship 1 space along the
Okay.
ship tracker,
All right, that's not
right.
too bad.
or
That's
the
not too
map
bad.
track, excuse me.
All right, so, boy, there's a few things we
There's
could
a
do
lot,
here.
yeah.
Yeah. If we can get them together, they can.
And they're quite close.
They're
right
quite
now.
close. We could move the
Yeah, she's
ship
kinda
track
here.
ahead.
Yeah, there we go.
We're also kind of close to getting maybe the Shrieking Eels, but we don't have the cards to
I
complete
do have
that.
courage, so if you traded with me,
Good trade with you.
because you have adventure.
Okay, let's see if we can make that happen. So I'll
Okay.
trade you an intrigue for a courage.
All right.
So I do have 2 that could help us complete that. So I think what I'll do is I'll move 2 characters 1 space to move
Yeah.
them both kind of to the railing.
Yep.
And then I will spend, let's see, I'll spend an intrigue.
I also have a revenge if you're nervous about with the ship.
Okay, good.
So I can do that.
All right, I'll turn in a card to let Buttercup move.
Yeah.
And then I will, right here, so the Shrieking Eels, Buttercup is in the water, Fezzik is at the railing, and so I will turn in a courage and an adventure to complete that. So we will get this to kind of mark that we have finished that challenge there. And now Buttercup will move to Fezzik, because he pulls her out, and you can draw 1 card from the special deck, which
Yeah.
is wonderful.
Very nice. All right, so skip to the end. Do not draw a plot card this turn. Yes, a very strange wedding. That might be very nice when
That might
we
be
want
very
to use
nice
that.
here,
So,
yeah. Wonderful.
right.
Okay, so I will, let's see. Yeah, I can't do it because they're not with Vizzini or anything.
Yep.
So I will go ahead and save my revenge. I'll get 2 cards. And you think we should pull a plot?
I mean, I
think
feel
so
like,
for
yeah,
now.
I feel like, the mystery ship isn't too close. It's not, too scary at the moment.
Yep,
We're
we're
kind of
not
still
in a
at
bad position.
Yeah. All right. So 4 And so again, that's in that 1 to 10. So Vizzini will move to the same number on the board as the plot card, and then we will move that mystery ship just 1 on the map tracker, which isn't not too bad. Yeah.
Yeah, I didn't move the ship ahead any, but getting the shrieking eels done, I think, is pretty good there.
All right, so I don't have too many cards here, and I know that we do want to start to move Vizzini towards the prow, so I'm going to just move him to join here.
Yeah.
We'll have a nice little, group of them at the railing admiring the eels. And since Fezzik and Vizzini are together, I do have Revenge, which is the next one that is needed.
Perfect.
So I will do that and go ahead and move our ship up 1. And then the next one is Any, so I will turn in my Intrigue for that to move it up as well. And I am kind of out of things.
Yeah.
Although I did only move Vizzini 1.
Yeah, but
it is first, so I kind of messed that up by not thinking that until after playing the cards.
That's okay. I'm not sure that we would super need anybody else to move, so.
Yeah, because it would just be Vizzini that we want to move.
We do need, so in order to complete No More Rhymes, and I mean it, we need Indigo and Fezzik to be in the same space and Vizzini on the prow. So there's a little bit of movement that needs to
I was thinking about just moving Vizzini towards the prow. And so I have an Intrigue and a Love, which we actually need
both of those.
Both of those for that one. So I should probably hang on to these.
Hang on to those. Let me use up maybe some of mine here.
All right. And then our plot card. Ooh, so 16.
So on a 16, we actually have the mystery ship moving 2 spaces.
Yes.
And Fezzik and Indigo go to the start space.
Yes.
Okay.
All right. I'm glad I moved our ship up a little bit.
Definitely. All right. Now, they are in the same space, so maybe if Vizzini can get over there, we might be okay. My only worry is that if a plot comes out, he might move. So I have an idea.
Yes.
What if, let me go ahead and take my movement. I'm going to move Vizzini towards the prow.
Yep.
I can... Let's see, what do we need for our last one? We don't need any cards, but we need to get
the ship needs to be in the final space,
Mm-hmm.
Yes. And then all other challenges must be completed at that point.
Okay, let's see.
So.
I'm going to discard an adventure to get to get Vizzini onto the prow there.
Okay.
And then I will...
Trade with me.
I
you
could
have
trade
an
with
Intrigue,
you.
so
I sure can.
Yes.
Okay, so I'll trade.
Yes, very well done.
Wonderful. Okay, so now I have an Intrigue and a Love,
Yes.
which matches up here. We've got Indigo and Fezzik in the same space, and Vizzini is on the prow. So I will complete that challenge and mark it.
A little marker.
And choose any player. They draw 2 cards from the story deck.
Probably me, right?
Yeah, let's
Since
stack
I'll go
you up
next,
a little
and then
bit.
maybe I can start to move us further. So I'll get another Intrigue there, and another Intrigue. A lot of intrigue.
Quite a bit of intrigue going on here. Okay. All right. Now, I think we've got to, because I don't have any cards, so I've definitely got to kind of call it. So I will draw 2.
Ooh, and we'll
Which will be
actually
our
get to
last 2 there.
shuffle that.
And I have a courage, but I've already passed the time when I can use that.
That's okay.
And
I
we'll
will
have to
probably
draw a
trade
plot.
with you,
Yep.
and we'll be good.
That'll work.
And just something that I just want to point out, because I love that, again, all the details just on the side, and there are great quotes. And so we pulled a 16 our last turn, and right there it has the quote, "You are sure nobody's following us?" And I like that, of course, the mystery ship moved 2, and it is a very fast ship moving. And we haven't done 11 and 15, but why do you keep looking behind us?
Yeah, and really our favorite part about this game is being able to relive the movie and the book and just being able to say the quotes to each other and kind of talk through. I think it's one of those things where we might be able to quote the whole thing just by memory, but having something where we can kind of do the story pieces and everything is just a fantastic night.
All right. So we are at number 14.
14, there it is.
And
Why do you keep looking behind us?
Right? And so move the mystery ship 2 spaces along the map tracker.
All right, it is actually getting a little close
yes.
there. Makes me a little bit nervous.
All right, so I need to move. And I do want to I want to make sure that I keep an Intrigue and my Revenge kind of off to the side here. I don't want to accidentally discard one of those, even though I have 3 Intrigues. Alright, so I am going to go ahead, and I do have to get them closer, so I will move 2 there, and I will discard 1 to be able to bring Fezzik with Vizzini there.
Yep, again, so again, just a reminder, in order to move your ship to the next space, either Fezzik or Inigo has to be in the same space as Vizzini, and then we've got to discard those cards.
Yes. And so I would like to trade with you. I would like to give you an intrigue for your courage. Yes. And then I will go ahead and use that courage to move our ship up 1. And then I do have that intrigue, which is needed there. And so I will go ahead and move that.
I know, I almost feel like you should keep your revenge.
I know, because it's any, and then that way you could, if you needed to, trade with me to get that.
Yep.
We could also do like one of these. We could use a nice MLT and draw 3 cards and then discard 2 and see if maybe I can move a little bit more.
Yeah, especially since you're already here. I think so. So in order to draw, we'll have to shuffle. So let's spend this.
Yeah.
We'll get these shuffled up.
Try and get us closer to getting that last challenge completed.
Absolutely.
And get closer to the cliffs of insanity.
All right, so here's our new deck. You need to draw 3, right?
And then I'll have to discard 2.
And then discard 2 of them.
Which, it came right back out. So, well, I would have to discard these 2, right?
Yeah, discard those 2, because I think we'd want to keep that.
Yeah, so that didn't really help us too much right there.
If you want, you could use it again, maybe.
I mean, sure.
Sure. All right. So we'll play it again. Just the luck of the draw sometimes.
Yeah. All right. So, and I'll need to discard 2. And really for this one, I just need any, and then I already have that revenge. So, you know, I'll use a courage. Because why not? So I'll discard those 2. Since they're still together, I'll go ahead and turn in that courage for any, and then I will turn in my revenge to get us a little bit further. And then I will have to stop there.
Yep.
So I will draw 2 new cards. Okay. And then a new plot card.
17. So on 17, we will move the mystery ship again 2 more spaces.
Yeah, getting closer.
And Fezzik and Inigo move to the start space again.
Getting further.
Away from Fezzik again.
Yeah.
Or Vizzini, excuse me.
Vizzini, yeah. Fezzik's moving away from Vizzini.
Yep. Okay, all right. So
your turn.
I don't have a lot of cards here.
Yeah. We may want to use skip to the end here in a little bit.
Yeah, just to kind of get
us maybe keep
closer.
Yeah.
So I know they keep moving there. Maybe if we move Vizzini a little bit closer there.
You could turn in your love to get him. Maybe keep him at the start.
That's a good idea.
So when they keep going to the start.
Yeah. So I'll turn in a love to do 1 more movement. So now they're all in the same location.
Yep.
And I will turn in an intrigue to move our ship 1 more to that intrigue space as well. Because really we're just trying, now that we've got these 2 challenges complete, we just need to get to the end so that we can do that. We don't even need cards to complete it. We just need to be there.
In a way, because we need the cards
We've
here.
been spending them, along the way.
There are, particular cards we need on the map track.
Exactly.
But yes.
Exactly. Okay, so with that, I will be set. I'll draw 2 cards.
Now, do we want to use skip to the end and maybe keep it...
Maybe keep them in the same location?
I don't... Oh, well, you do have a courage, so I could trade with you.
And then you've got a revenge, so it might be worth it.
All right, you think?
Okay, yeah. So let's turn in skip to the end. So this is another special card that we got earlier that says we do not have to draw a plot card this term.
Yeah. Were you supposed to do that before you drew? Probably, right?
It sure was, yeah. I would
So we can't.
No, we'll use it next time. So again...
We're not going to cheat here. As badly as I would love to cheat, I always try to cheat. It's like my one thing every game. I have to try to cheat at least once. There it was, right there.
That was it. So again, taking that movement and then any of the stories, and you can do those in any order, but then kind of once you're done with that and you draw, you've got to move on to your plot cards and then discarding down to 6 if you need to.
All right. So we're going to be good. We will draw that plot card.
All right. 11.
11.
So we will move. Oh, and they all stay there. The mystery ship just moves 2 spaces.
All right. Good deal. All right. So again, looking at this, so the first action would be a move. And notice it does say move a single character 0 to 2 spaces. So I'm going to choose 0 and leave just everyone
everybody
there.
where they are.
Yeah, keep it that way. And then I would like to trade with you, please.
Sure.
I would like a courage.
Here's a courage.
There's some love for you.
Thank you.
Pretty good trade, right?
I'll take it.
All right, so I'm going to turn in that courage and go ahead and move our ship up one. And then the next one would need to be revenge, and so I will turn in my revenge as well. And that leaves me empty, but while we are still in that storytelling, I'm going to turn in that skip to the end and do not draw a plot card. Okay. And so I will now draw my 2 cards. Eek.
Oh,
Not what we need.
Not what we needed.
And then right there, that's kind of it, because we won't do plot, and then I don't need to discard, so it's your turn.
Okay, so I don't get to draw any cards, and we don't have a revenge, which is the next one we needed. Now, there is a way to kind of get around it if you don't have the exact right card. If Vizzini is on the prow, you can discard any 3 cards to sail the ship 1 space, no matter what it is. The difficulty with that is we would have to get him there, and I don't even have 3 cards yet. So we may need to do that in the future if we don't get some revenge, but I think here I'm going to kind of keep what I've got.
Yeah, you will need the adventure coming up, and then I have an intrigue. We don't really need love.
We don't need love, but it may be something that we keep in order to move to get somebody together.
What a sad sentence. We don't need love.
We don't need love right now.
We need revenge and adventure and intrigue.
There are a lot of parts in the movie that deal with love. This is not
one of them, yeah.
All right, so I think I'm going to move 0.
All right.
I think I'm going to not spend any of my cards.
Wow, all right.
We don't have any special cards, and so I think I will go ahead and pass to you. So I'll draw 2 more. I've got 2 revenges.
There we go.
So that will help us here in a little bit. And we do need a plot now.
Okay. I know, we almost probably should have saved that. And so we have 15.
Okay. 15
and so again, just move that mystery ship 2 spaces.
2 more spaces. He is getting a little closer.
Yes.
Are you sure nobody's following us?
No, not quite. At this point. All right, so they are still together.
They're still together. I could trade you a revenge.
Yes.
If you'd like it.
Man, that's about all. All right, so I will choose again to move 0 spaces, and then I will go ahead and give you a love for some revenge. What an interesting trade. And I will turn in that revenge in order to move our ship 1 ahead on that map tracker. I wish I could move again.
I know.
Or trade again. I wish I could do that, but you can't.
Can't.
And I guess that's it.
That's it.
Yeah. Ooh, it's like getting tense.
It
and of course I draw
Drawing 2
adventures right now. All right, so I will draw those, and then our plot card.
20.
So 20. We haven't had that
20.
yet.
Inconceivable! This is one of the rough ones, because we will actually draw 2 more plot cards and resolve their effects.
Okay.
So a little dicey.
All right, so 19, which is draw 2.
Draw 2 more. So now
again,
we have
inconceivable.
to draw. Inconceivable. So now we have to draw 3 cards and resolve their effects.
All right, so 18. Whew, 18. I'm okay with that.
And we'll move 2 spaces.
All right.
And these guys go to the start space, which
they are. I feel pretty good that we did that. Yep. All right, so here's our. Do you have one more after this?
13. So they will. Let's see.
It's just move the mystery ship 2 spaces. That's it.
Oh, on a 13. That's right. Okay. Very close to us.
Oh.
And a 12.
Which would move the mystery ship 2 spaces.
All right. So with that was a rough turn of events. Yep. And we now have to talk about getting interrupted.
Yes.
We got interrupted.
We did. So I'm telling you, you're messing up the story. Now get it right.
So we have officially been interrupted by our grandson here. Now, like I said, though, at the beginning, we do have a chance after that first interruption to tell the story right. And so on the other side of that, we have the grandpa say, do you want me...
do you want me to go on with this? Yeah. All right, then. No more interruptions.
No more interruptions. So at this point, we would kind of do a little bit more of a reset and then see if we could continue on from there. Now, if we get interrupted a second time on the same chapter, that's game over. And we'd have to kind of restart with our chapters in order to get through. For the sake of time, we got really close here. For the sake of time.
And we were like right there, right there. I was
had-
going to trade with you. You could have gone too.
Yeah, we
felt
kind of
really
had
good
it.
about it.
But that kind of gives us a perfect opportunity to kind of take any questions and also look forward at some of the other chapters
Yeah.
because there's some phenomenal
Yeah.
pieces and sets and story pieces in here as well. So with that, let me move some of our characters and just kind of talk about some of the other chapters here.
Perfect.
So once we had gotten to the Cliffs of Insanity, we have a wonderful chapter 3 on the Cliffs of Insanity where we get to see a lot of our characters.
Yes.
And so
We even get Prince Humperdinck.
we get Prince Humperdinck who is on the trail and he
Yeah.
has a little path that
And I'm
he
gonna
follows.
kind of move this over so we can show that a little bit closer so you can actually see where his character would start right there, and then you can see that path that he has to follow.
Yeah.
And then kind of move it here so you can see where each of those characters would start.
Yeah, and this is a really cool chapter as well
Yeah.
because you are not allowed to move any of the characters by choice in that
Yes.
move action or by discarding cards, except for Wesley, because Wesley is moving through each of the opponents that he has to get through.
Yes.
And so he will have a duel with Inigo Montoya. He will fight
Probably
with
one
Fezzik.
of my favorite quotes, too, for that challenge is, you seem a decent fellow. I hate to kill you.
You seem a decent fellow. I hate to die.
I know. Probably one of the best scenes.
So
Which right there. Both
absolutely.
quotes.
So you move on to Fezzik, and you'll fight with Fezzik. You'll have a,
Sportsmanlike. Very important.
very important. You have a battle of wits with Vizzini, and then
Yeah.
eventually, if you can outrun,
Which I can't really show it. It's not showing me at all. I apologize.
and then if you can outrun Prince Humperdinck, you will make it on to our next chapter.
Yes.
So the next chapter is a beautiful fire swamp here.
I hear it's lovely to vacation.
Very lovely. It's it has all kinds of different intrigues. You'll deal with flame spurts, lightning, sand, and the ROUSs.
I mean, you can't forget about those.
I'm not sure they exist. And then once you make it through the fire swamp, you have It'll Take a Miracle, which we have to revive Inigo.
Yep.
We have to get the Man in Black and get our way to Miracle Max's to get into the castle.
Yes, and I do love right here, we also have the aisle all the way up to I Do. Just so much detail. Really
Absolutely.
cool.
And then last but not least, chapter 6 is Have Fun Storming the Castle, in which you get to finish up, get revenge for Inigo Montoya. It Would Be a Pity, which is one of the best scenes in
Yes.
movie history, and then finishing out the story.
Yes, and of course, our very last one, this kiss left them all behind, and the reward, in all caps, you win the game.
Absolutely. So again, this is the Princess Bride adventure book game, and just from start to finish is absolutely phenomenal.
Yes.
We've enjoyed it, being able to play it, and like I said, a lot of it is just being able to remember what an amazing book and movie.
Yes. All right. Well, just as a reminder, it is for ages 10 and up. It plays with 1 to 4 players. The playing time is roughly about 15 minutes per chapter. I think some of our chapters went a little bit, we might have gone a little bit longer just with little obstacles and interruptions that came up. It is normally $24.99, but again, with Black Friday and all of those sales going on, it is available at Target right now for $20.99.
Yeah,
So I highly recommend
fantastic
picking it up while it is on sale.
Absolutely. All right. So with that, thank you for joining us. We are again thrilled for the Princess Bride, the Adventure Book game. We hope you pick it up, and if you do, please let us know
Yes, and
what you think of it.
Let us know if you did better than us during the Shrieking Eels and all of that. If you got interrupted or if you actually made it further.
Yep, absolutely. And with that, we